This is incomplete now. Return it to get, please. How you doing? There you go. There you go. It's incomplete, sir.
It's incomplete. Tom,
Everything that's said.
you sure one from Tom Hood? We got the same
Sir?
name.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Wrong time.
You ready, Mr. Clark? Good evening. I would like to call our regular board meeting to order at 6:31. We are located in the Village Chambers, 2350 South 25th Avenue. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chamalave.
Here.
Trustee Senior.
Here.
Mayor Thompson.
Here.
Trustee Shelby. Here. Trustee Wimper.
Here. Trustee
Miller is absent. Madam President, we do have a quorum today. Can everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag I will now read the Pledge of Civility. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understand that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. Now, I will ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. Next, item 2, presentation. We have none this evening. Item 3, communications. Madam President, did you have anything for me?
No.
Okay. No communications. Item 4, consideration to approve the following minutes. Minutes from the October 6, 2025 regular board meeting.
Motion to approve.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Chalmalave. Madam President?
Thank you. Trustee Chamalave, you have any questions about the minutes from October 6th?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Wimper,
No questions.
Trustee Shelby,
No questions.
Mr. Clerk.
Roll call. Trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Wimper.
Yes.
Trustee Miller is absent. Madam President, this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next item. Consideration to approve the following minutes. Minutes from the October 20th, 2025 regular board meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Shelby. Madam President,
Thank you. Trustee Chalmalabi, you have any questions or comments?
None.
Trustee Senior,
No questions.
Trustee Wimper,
No questions.
Trustee Shelby,
No questions.
Mr. Clerk.
roll call. Trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Wimper.
Yes.
Trustee Miller is absent. Madam President, this too carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next, item 5, consideration to approve expenditures. Grand total of all funds, $1,013,104.09 for the period ending October 28th, 2025.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Shelby. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. In the absence of the Finance Chairwoman, Trustee Abraham, Trustee Shelby, will you please read the warrant list?
Yes, Mayor. Okay, the warrant list of October 28, 2025. The vendors are AT&T in the amount of $8,441.43. B&F Construction Code Services Incorporated in the amount of $8,730. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois in the amount of $170,792.41. Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency in the amount of $344,560.04. ComEd in the amount of $3,961.05. David Onsby Incorporated in the amount of $6,000. Delgado Law Group LLC in the amount of $28,529.75. Edwin Hancock Engineering Company in the amount of $28,420.30. Enterprise FM Trust in the amount of $19,101.98. Everlast Blacktop Incorporated in the amount of $287,233.96. Image Tech LP in the amount of $3,618.96. Lincoln National Life Insurance Company in the amount of $7,126.93. Montana and Welch LLC in the amount of $28,547.30. Tran US Incorporated in the amount of $22,425. And Urban Efficiency Group LLC in the amount of $6,000. The total of expenditures over $2,500 came to $973,489.11, which is 96% of our total expenditures in the amount of $1,013,104.09. And the total accounts that these funds were taken from, be a moment here. Okay, we have the general fund account in the amount of $329,840.78. We have the motor fuel tax fund in the amount of $3,752.03. We have the Roosevelt and 17th Avenue TIF fund in the amount of $1,400. And we have the Capital Projects Fund in the amount of $329,986.24. And we have the Water and Sewage Fund in the amount of $348,125.04. Again, for a grand total of $1,013,104.09. And Madam Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Shelby. Trustee Chalmalabi, do you have any questions or comments?
No.
Trustee Senior,
No questions.
Trustee Wimper,
No questions.
Trustee Shelby.
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
Trustee Senior,
Yes.
Trustee Shelby,
Yes.
Trustee Wimper,
Yes.
Trustee Miller is absent. Madam President, this carries 4-0 to pay the bills. Thank you all. Next is item 6, application for the authority to expend funds totaling $11,200 for a purchase order for PERC CO SMIP for the police department.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Shelby. Madam President.
Thank you. So this PO is for the Police Executive Research Forum for Deputy Chief Johnson to attend in 2026. It's already been allocated for $11,200. Trustee Chamalave, do you have any questions or comments?
No question.
Trustee Senior.
No questions.
Trustee Wimper.
No questions.
Trustee Shelby.
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
Trustee Senior,
Yes.
Trustee Shelby,
Yes.
Trustee Wimper,
Yes.
Trustee Miller is absent. Madam President, this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next item 7, committee reports, which are given at each first meeting of the month, starting with our Business License Committee. Trustee Senior.
No report at this time.
Thank you, Trustee. Next, Police and Fire. Trustee Shelby.
A no report.
Thank you, Trustee. Next, Finance Committee. Trustee Abraham, who is absent today. Does anyone have anything in her stead?
No.
No? Thank you. Next, Building and Public Property. Trustee Miller, who is also absent. Does anyone, I'm sorry, she just walked in. Please let the record reflect that at 6:40 PM, Trustee Miller arrived to the meeting. Trustee Miller, do you have a report this evening? No. Thank you, ma'am. Next is Water and Drainage and Health. Trustee Chamalave.
No report, just want to thank the Director Ames, who gave me the stormwater management plan. That's a follow-up from our last committee meeting. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Trustee. Next, Street Sidewalks and Alleys. Trustee Wimper.
Yes, just wanted to thank Public Works. We have received email from Roberta McGill about the stretch of Baton Drive from 17th to 13th Avenue have been littered with broken glass bottles and papers and cans for weeks. Public Works got it cleaned up, and they will do weekly checks to make sure that area stays clean.
Did that conclude your report, Trustee?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. That concludes item 7. Next is item 8, old business. We have none. Item 9, new business, starting with A motion to establish a consent agenda to include the following items. I will read these items into the record, and then we can ask for a motion to establish the consent agenda. A1, a resolution authorizing and approving expenses related to attendance of Village President Katrina Thompson at the Power of Place Conference for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. 2, a resolution of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, appointing, and I'm going to butcher this name, excuse me, please, Bachan Young to the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners. Number 3, a resolution authorizing and approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Cook County Department of Public Health for the provision of environmental health inspectional services for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Number 4, a resolution authorizing and approving an indemnification agreement between the Village of Broadview and Loyola University Medical Center regarding the provision of fire inspectional services by the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Number 5, an ordinance of the Village of Broadview, Cook County, Illinois, authorizing and approving a First Amendment to the agreement of purchase and sale by and between the Village of Broadview and Intelligent Digital Holdings, LLC, for the property located at 1426 Roosevelt Road, Broadview, Illinois. Number 6, an ordinance amending Title 13, Real Property Transactions, for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. Finally, item 7, consideration of an application for a business license requested by Zeco LLC, doing business as LA Chemicals, located at 2415 Gardner Road, to operate in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois. I need a motion to establish the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
A second.
Thank you. It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Shelby to establish the consent agenda. Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Chalmalavi, do you have any questions or comments for the consent agenda? No. Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Wimper?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No, I see the attorney fixed the question that I had, so yeah.
Okay, so on item number 4, I'm going to ask for, so we need a motion to approve the consent agenda, and then I'll need a motion to remove item 4.
Another way to do it, Mayor, would be to approve, or to approve the consent agenda to include all items except item 4, and then you can vote on that, and then you can vote separately to table item 4.
So can I ask for a superseding motion to approve the consent agenda as established with the exception of item 4? Motion?
Yeah, a motion to approve.
Gotcha. Need a second.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Shelby, seconded by trustee Senior. This is a superseding motion to establish the consent agenda to include all items with the exception of item 4. I'll take a roll call, Madam President, if you will.
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chalmalavi?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Wimper?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Thank you all. This approves 5-0 to establish the consent agenda. Now, item B, motion to approve the consent agenda as established, and again, with the exception of item 4. Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly motioned by trustee Chalmalavi, seconded by trustee Senior. Madam President,
Roll call, please.
roll call. Trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chalmalavi?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Wimper?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And Madam President, this carries 5-0 to approve the consent agenda as established with the exception of item 4. Now, item C, a motion to approve any items removed from the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Well, if I may, I think that this is time for the motion to table item 4,
Will you
because
table this?
that item is actually.
Okay, instead of the motion to approve, we're going to change that to a motion to table, and this would be item 4 that we remove from the consent agenda. I need a motion?
I motion to table item number 4.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly motioned by trustee Chalmalavi, seconded by trustee Senior to table item 4. Madam President, will you have a roll call?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chalmalavi?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Wimper?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And this has been tabled with the vote of 5-0. Thank you all. Next item, 10, Village Clerk's Report. I have nothing this evening. Item 11, public comments. And before we get into public comment, I just want to go over the House rules real quickly. The Village of Broadview encourages citizen input. Those wishing to address the village board under public comments must fill out the attached speaker request form and submit it to the village clerk prior to the start of the board meeting. The president will then call your name at the appropriate time. When addressing the village board, your remarks are limited to 3 minutes. The total allotted minutes for this evening will be 30 minutes for all public comments. When the president recognizes you, please state your name and address for the record and speak loudly. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I know you read the civility pledge at the beginning of the board meeting, so I would like for you to read that again, because this pledge exists for a reason, to ensure that our conversation remain respectful, constructive, and grounded in our shared commitment to our community. So will you please read the civility
I sure will
pledge?
read that again, Madam President. So this is the Pledge of Civility. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. Thank you.
Thank you. First up is Mr. Ian Parry.
Hello, my name is Ian Perry. 2 weeks ago, I spoke here about unity. I said that in the fight against ICE, we protesters should be working with Broadview, not against them. After the meeting ended in shouting, I emailed the mayor and said I still believed in what I said. and asked if she wanted to have a conversation about how we can reach a more peaceful coexistence. And to her credit, she agreed. So I met with the mayor, Chief Mills, and a few other deputies on Thursday, October 23rd. In that meeting, we discussed the aid tent on Lexington. I told them that in addition to providing first aid to those hit by chemicals, we were also providing aid to the families affected by ice. We were collecting and delivering donations to families too afraid to leave their house. We were helping people whose loved ones had been taken get legal resources. We were providing bilingual witnesses who could accompany people looking for their family members as they approached the ICE facility, ensuring that they would not be grabbed themselves. The mayor and Chief Mills agreed that these services that we provided were important and necessary. Chief Mills wanted to talk with Karen, his main point of contact in these matters, about the tent's future. We ended the meeting by agreeing to keep an open line of communication going forward. It seemed like a very productive meeting, and I told my fellow protesters as such. We discussed next steps in this process while having the most peaceful weekend we had had since the protest started. No arrests for the first time since September. Then, on Tuesday, October 28th, before Karen had a chance to talk to Chief Mills, a couple of officers posted a notice on our tent saying we had to take it down by Thursday at 10 a.m. You had my contact info. You could have called me, you could have emailed me, but you chose to post a note. Like cowards. We decided to call the media and have them show up on Thursday at 10 a.m. to see Broadview take down our tent. But you waited until 6:30 that night when most of us had dispersed and the media had left to tear down our tent and grab supplies out of our hands. Like cowards. On Saturday, we were angry. Broadview had taken down the lone beacon of hope in that dark corner. And then you started firing chemicals at us. You left us defenseless, and then you opened fire. Like cowards. That will forever be your legacy, Broadview. You cleared out our last line of defense to roll out the welcome mat for the fascist regime. Shame on you, Mayor Thompson, and this entire board for allowing this to happen. Shame on you, Chief Mills and Broadview PD, for grabbing first aid supplies out of our hands and then turning around and firing at us. May God have mercy on your souls, because the history books certainly won't.
That's your time. Thank you. Next is Rabbi Michael Ben Youssef.
Greetings to the mayor, constituents, my fellow protesters who are standing on the front lines. Today, I'm invoking the supremacy clause in Article 6 of the Constitution that states the Constitution, federal laws, and treaties are the supreme law of the land. This means federal law takes precedence over your ordinance. This article takes immediate precedence over your ordinance of the law is the Freedom Religious Restoration Act of 1993, passed by the Senate and signed into law in 1993, prohibits any agency, department, or officials of the United States or any state, the government, from burdening a person's exercising his religious freedoms to carry out his duties. So today, I'm invoking my constitutional rights to go into the areas of Broadview on 1930 Beach Street, and it should be 24/7 because there's no specifications in this Constitution that gives it 9 to 6. So I'm invoking this Saturday, I will be able to go protest and then go in beyond the state's police, Broadview police, and ICE agents to go up to that building. If you prohibit me from carrying out my duties of the constitutional rights, I will be filing a lawsuit against you, Mayor, and against the city of Broadview, and against the state police for providing or preventing me to carrying out my duties as a religious clergy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Melissa E.
Good evening, everyone. Excuse me if I'm a little bit nervous, bear with me. I want to speak about what happened this weekend. I think it's important to point out. So this weekend, it was pretty concerning. There was a large number of police presence from multiple towns, and streets were shut down. There was tear gas deployed at the protesters. Many of us were surrounded in the evening by police officers. And they repeatedly told us we were in violation of status 720 ILCS 5_25-1, which refers to mob action. The people using force, violence, or disturbing the peace. But that's not what we were doing. We were peacefully protesting. There was no threat, no violence from the protesters. Actually, the violence came from the officers. And I think part of it was that the law was not prepared for the amount of people that showed up on Saturday. It was a large crowd. Instead of adjusting for the safety, the officers escalated the situation. Our protest area is very restricted. It's a small space, and it was definitely not able to handle the crowd that showed up that day, and that was a big part of the problem. Sorry. Another concern was obviously the aid tent that was there. We didn't have that aid tent there, so we were not able to, provide rescue efforts to those that were tear gassed. It was a tough situation. I want to stress the importance of why we are protesting. There are families that are showing up daily to that facility center trying to get information about their family members. We are concerned about the inhumane situation that these people that are being detained are living in that facility.
That's your time. Thank you. Next is Linda Barker.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Linda Barker, and I'm a resident of Broadview, sad to say. My heart goes out for all the things that are going on in Broadview, but something that's been affecting me since 21. I filed a request asking that my garbage, this might sound crazy, my garbage needs to be picked up in a different location from where they designated me to roll my cans. At one time, I was able to do this, but after I had surgery, I was unable to. I reside in my house. My sister resides in my house. I'm 75. My sister's 73. All we're asking for is our garbage cans be picked up on the other side of our fence. I was told by Mr. Ames that if things were changed to meet my needs, they would have to do it for everyone. I rest my case. Thank you.
Next is Francine Smith.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm here tonight because this has been a long time coming, and I'm proud, I stand proud tonight to come and face you, Mayor, and you, Chief Mills, given the honor that you guys have not been transparent with me, and I demand answers regarding my son's murder, which was Brandon Smith, that took place in 2017. You guys had told me from day one that it was a cold case. No investigations was fully investigated upon his case. Regardless of what anyone thought of my son, he was a son, he was a grandson, and he was a father, a brother, and a nephew. And today, I stand here and I'm requesting that you guys do your jobs and do what we as constituents are paying you guys to do. Because the transparency or the accountability has not been there. And I have asked to make appointments with you, Mayor, that I've been denied. My mother is 89 years old, and the way my mother was treated that night was unacceptable. You guys kept my mother in a house that's sickly, bedridden, and could not get to her medication. She was stripped from all of her rights and didn't even know the seclusion of what was going on with my son. When she tried to attempt to save his life, your officers pushed her away and told her to get away. And my mother's a registered nurse and have been for 30 plus years. We have been residents of Broadview for 40 plus years. And this is where it stopped, because this is a circus, and you the ringleader. And it stops here. It stops. Because I don't care when anybody say, I'm a mother just like you is, and you would think you would have some compassion and reach out and respect the fact that I lost a son, and my life ain't been the same. And I deserve that. He deserved that. Regardless of what anybody thought about him, like I said, he was a human being. This is not right. And if this is what you're going to do, you need to remove yourself.
Next is Eric Smith.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm not here about the protests, or that's my sister Francine. Everything she said is true. And with the protesters, everything they're saying is true. I've seen it myself. I have it on my phone. The way they just mistreat them for no reason. But the only other thing I'm concerned about, and my mom is concerned about, is a piece of paper. She needs the piece of paper of the ordinance that y'all said that y'all had about abandoned vehicles that's causing rat problems or whatever. When y'all have the garbage cans and the garbage that's not being picked up, that's causing rat problems in Broadview. But at the same time, y'all removed all the cars from on one side of Broadview saying that they were abandoned. And the other side of Broadview, the cars are still sitting there. No license plates, no registration or nothing. And I want to know, y'all picking and choosing or what? That's all I needed to say.
Thank you. Erica Smith. Erica Smith? No, you can't. Oh, yes, okay. Angela Patterson?
Good evening, Broadview, and
Good evening.
guests.
My issue is similar to other residents here in Broadview. I'm not here for personal vendettas. I'm not here for tragedies. I'm here to ask why we have over 25 abandoned buildings, 30 empty or more business spaces. We have no CPA on staff. We're enduring political and personal retaliation on our residents. Our government is ignoring cease and desist orders. And we've heard about alleged theft from our park districts and elementary schools by our one and only mayor. We're trying to figure out when is enough enough. Our mayor has more than just you all to worry about. She has more than just what we're worried about. But what her concern should be is what you people are enduring here in this room, what our residents are enduring, the pain, the suffering, and the anguish that we're enduring on a daily basis. I'm not sure if you all are aware, but our mayor has a beautiful business that's called Amore Strategies. It is a sex toy, body cream, oil, and game business. That business took videos, pictures of our kids at our schools. It also received money of about $27,000 from our educational fund. I have questions and concerns about that. I also have, where we've been outside, we've been relocating things for our summer program. Our mayor's family member received $16,000 for 6 weeks of work. You all should be concerned where your educational fund and tax dollars are going. I know I am. The property on 1426 Roosevelt Road was just sold. The Village of Broadview got that building at no cost. What will we receive back into our government fund or municipal funds for this property? It's very concerning to me. Also, the 1426 Roosevelt Road building is owned by Intelligent Digital Holdings, LLC. Look it up. You might be surprised on who the owner is. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Matt Ames?
Mayor, Board of Trustees, people in attendance. My name is Matt Ames. I'm a resident here in the Village of Broadview. It's funny. Since 2009, I've been here and I've watched the council wars, and I've not seen an attendance like this since then. It was misguided then, and I think it's misguided now. And I tell you why. I know for a fact that the allegations against our police department is not true at all. I've served this village as an elected official and as an appointed official since 2009. I've had the pleasure of working alongside 4 police chiefs. And this is the only one that has the entire department accountable. Fact. You want to talk about it? We can. As it relates to what I've seen out here at Beach Street, who was the guy that called me a coward? Incorrect. Okay? And I'll tell you why it's incorrect. Because, for me, what I'm trying to do is avoid the confrontation that I've witnessed over the last few months mushroom and blow up into what it is now. None of you people live here in the Village of Broadview, but yet you're going to demand rights for your First Amendment rights, contrary to my rights to live safe and free and without harassment. Without harassment, I promise you, you don't want it. Without harassment. And that being said, I've witnessed agitators, some of which are still in this room right now, and the commission of functions like putting down jersey walls. I watched the IDOT crew do that and was berated. I watched our police officers stand with folks in their faces, nose to nose, threatening them, telling them that they're on the wrong side, and all they're there to do is protect you all. So as it relates to me, the guy you think pulled a coward move in removing your tent, it wasn't that. It was the fact that we've received numerous phone calls about what appeared to be a homeless encampment. You're right. The graciousness of the police chief and the mayor was to allow for a medical tent to be erected. And the fact that, to your point, you guys, or at least some of you, I won't say all of you, I don't want to make a sweeping indictment, decided to push the limits, decided to create an unwanted and unsightly situation here in Broadview of what, by the way, you don't pay any taxes. And I understand, Mo, what your right might be, okay? And I am going to conclude with this, okay? As mayor, I support you. I support you, Chief Mills. I support the decision that this board has made to protect the residents of Broadview, for which I am one, okay? And what I will say, Mayor, is keep up the good work. I know where you come from. I know where the village came from, and the political agitators that are in the audience
Thank you, Mr.
are the
Ames.
same people that was here
Mr. Ames.
2009. So,
Next, Mark K. Mark K.
Two weeks ago, I was here, this meeting, and what the people didn't realize was, as a fellow activist and protester, was that we were here to observe. And clearly, this group is against America. And so, being that you're against America, then America is going to meet you to protest. Let's go head to head on the protest. I'm going to give you something to smile about. Okay? All right? Matter of fact, we don't have to talk no more. All right. Thank you.
Mr. Clerk, what's next? Next on the agenda?
That's it? Okay. Thank you. That concludes our public comments for the evening. Next is item 12, Village President's Report, Mayor Katrina Thompson.
Mr. Clerk, how much time do we have left for public comments? Because I don't keep track of the time.
Five.
We got 5 minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is Noah Lester.
Hi, I'm Noah. I've been protesting at the Broadview Detention Center for around a month now. When I came here, I had seen the videos on the news that show very intense moments, and I was alone, so I was a little scared. As soon as I got here, I met a community of great people at a nearby aid tent. This tent held resources for not only protesters, but their families who had had loved ones taken. When they were lost in a maze of concrete barriers, they could get help and direction on what to do to get medication to their family members. On October 30th at 7 p.m., The city of Broadview waited until there was a few people left and rolled in with police, a dump truck, a tractor, and took it down. That tent symbolized community and hope, and a constant presence standing against the kidnapping and oppression happening at this facility. And food, water, community donations were picked up by a tractor while Broadview police blocked the street, treating us as if we're evil people. I think this sets a dangerous precedent. It doesn't make it okay that you left our supplies sitting in a container rather than in a landfill. It was more than items being taken away. It was like watching our community being oppressed and our voices being silenced. Mayor Thompson, I don't understand your actions. You already push us out every day at 6 p.m., and you keep us huddled within concrete barriers. You don't need to get rid of our tent. We didn't walk out last week to spite you. We walked out because to chalk up our presence here to one person who had a beer is disrespectful to everyone who volunteers their time here, fighting for people stuck in that boarded-up building. And this was one final kick in the gut. It's done now. You can kick us off Lexington, but we will be back, even with the snow next week. We'll be here every day as a voice for those detainees. We will not be driven away. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Schaus. I want to talk about how one thing that seems to be brought up here from people that are against us as the protesters is that this only affects the village of Broadview, when the greater state of Illinois is affected just as hard, if not harder, because they are actively targeting certain towns and neighborhoods for their attacks. And to try to come and tell us that safety is more important than our rights and our ability to hold our government accountable is just absurd. We should be able to be on the sidewalks within front of that building, expressing our freedom of speech, while also being able to document anything that we can and hold the federal government accountable. Without being able to do that, all you are doing is allowing them to use a processing center as a detention center where we don't know how many people are held. We don't know how long they are being held any longer because we can no longer videotape them. We don't know any of the situations of what's happening to these people other than when we see an ambulance every other day coming out of there. It's absurd, it's unnecessary, and you are just aggravating as much as, I don't know, I'm just really pissed off with how this is being handled, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
So that concludes public comments. Mr. Clerk, what's
Thank
next
you,
on the
Madam
agenda?
President. Next is item 12, Village President Report, Mayor Katrina Thompson.
So thank you, Mr. Clerk, and I want to address, and I'm going to show a video too, but I want to address the residents first. I want to address Miss Angela Patterson because she claims I have a sex toy business. I have a right to own a business, which is a consultant business that I do have, so that's a correction. As it relates to a family member being paid $16,000 for whatever services she's saying it is for, my daughter is a school teacher, and she actually works at Lindop doing the summer program for summer school. She teaches at Freedom School, and she qualifies to do the job. She's highly qualified. So I just want to clear the record, but let's not negate the fact that our CPA, Mr. Tom Hood, is a CPA. Our finance director is a CPA, so let me just put that narrative in place. As it relates to the 25, as it relates to the 25 abandoned buildings, I'm not sure where she got 25 from, but those are her numbers. But I do want to make one thing clear. She ran against, this is political, she ran against me in this upcoming election and she lost. And what she don't tell you is that her husband attacked a parent over at Lindop School with a physical attack, which he's, I guess, on administrative leave from his current job for the harassment of that parent. So if we're going to talk about truth and transparency, put all your hands on the table, and let's live in the truth, and let's be transparent. Now, as it relates to Ms. Francine Smith, As I've said before, when that incident happened, my condolences was to you and your family. Matter of fact, we met with, this is at the time when Commissioner Boykin was the first district commissioner for Cook County. We had you and your family in the office, and we had a conversation with you. Nothing has changed with whatever the program. I don't know what the process is as it relates to murders, but I've always showed you love, kindness, and compassion during that time, even your mother. So, but it's not time for us to go back and forth. I just want to clear the record on the accusations that you put out in public comment, and I have to make what the truth is. As it relates to Ian, we did meet. We did meet Ian, and we had a very good conversation as it relates to what took place as it relates to the tent. But what you failing to tell everybody is the medical tent that Karen asked us for, we provided that, and we thought it was a great idea on October 6th. But as time went on, people started moving furniture. We had propane tanks in there, all kind of stuff. We didn't know what was going on. So can you play the video for me, please? Next is Karen Byron. Byrne? Okay.
Okay. So first of all, I would just like to thank the esteemed trustees and Mayor Thompson for allowing me the opportunity to speak. I am not a resident of Broadview, however, I am your neighbor in Westchester. So basically, I'm here in light of the announcement that there were going to be new hours restricting the hours of that people were going to be able to protest over at the ICE facility. So my question is this. I am here on behalf of the dozens of volunteers that have been manning the first aid tent that is now over on Lexington. It was moved to Lexington after the first tent that we had was ransacked by federal ICE agents, and many of the contents that were donated were spoiled, so we had to get new supplies. The reason that we felt the need to have the tent in the first place was because one of the first times where chemical munitions were deployed, many of your first responders had to respond, and then people were taken to the hospital. So we thought that it would be a good service for us to try and take some of that burden away from your first responders, because basically it's, treating chemical burns to the eyes, respiratory system, to the skin. So now, with the restrictions, we are here to respectfully request perhaps an exemption so that we may allow, keep the tent where it is with its contents and inside. And there have been a couple of volunteers who graciously volunteered to stay overnight to keep a watch to make sure that we have these available in the event that there are more, tear gas deployments and chemical weapons deployments. So that is why I'm here. So I would please respectfully request that we are able to just keep it where it is. And
Thank you for your
continue our
comment.
operation.
I hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't care. But when we asked for that, we made a whole bunch of pleas with the mayor.
Good.
She took one picture from one person who'd been there one day and had a case of beer on their car, and she condemned every single person. When Mills told me why the tent got taken down, it was because of one person that we can't control because it's not our property.
This is my report. I have the floor. If you do another outburst, I will clear out the chamber. Clear the chamber.
go home. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Why don't you go home? Go home. Goodbye. If I got to speak. See you in the holding cell.
Okay, so now that I can finish my report, so you all watched the video, and so everybody have a narrative. When we out, one bad person makes it bad for everybody. When they came and asked for consideration for the medical attempt, we thought it was a great idea because at that time the fence was up and we needed support. They was there, Karen, we had a conversation with her after that board meeting and gave that extension. When we decided to take the tents down was because there's no sanitation, there's no running water over there, no restrooms, and they are camping 24/7, so where are they using the bathroom? And that's problematic for the village of Broadview. As it relates to garbage, the garbage cans that we had put out for the food drive, they was using it as garbage. And so that's so disrespectful to our community as now that we are in government shutdown, SNAP benefits are being not going out to the families that need it, so we exercise our local laws to clean up that area, and many of the businesses were complaining about the 2 tents. We were told it was only gonna be 1. So I understand the frustration and the aggravation right now, but it was 2 tents over there, as you saw in the video. So I wanna ask them, do they know what grace is? Grace is choosing understanding over accusation. It's remembering that not every battle we facing in Broadview is one we created, and not every challenge is within our control. We are dealing with a federal facility that we did not ask for, do not manage, and cannot control. Yet every day we are the ones who must hold responsibility for the impact it brings to our community, our residents, our public safety team, and our families. And while some are calling for anger or division, many of our families here in Broadview are just trying to survive. Some need food assistance, Some are federal employees who still must show up for work, even in difficult circumstances. Some are caught in the middle of trying to support loved ones, protect their peace, and simply get through the day. Grace means seeing all of that. Grace means caring for the immigrant family, the protesting neighbor, the federal worker who still has to pay their bills. Grace means protecting this community while remembering that humanity belongs to everyone, not just to those who agree with us. In Broadview, we are choosing compassion and balance. We are choosing safety without cruelty, dignity without division, and leadership without losing our soul. Grace is not weakness. Grace is the strength, the kind that sees the whole community and protects all of it. That is what we're doing here. That is Broadview. And so I will say on Saturday, the Coalition Spiritual for Public Leadership had the People's Mass. It was very peaceful, and it was very emotional. And I say emotional because when I was over there, we sent a letter over on, I believe it was October 22nd, to ICE to ask could the ministers go inside that detention center to pray for the detainees and for the employees that work in the center. We never got a response, but CSPL, they got a response, they were denied. At that mass, the ministers walked up. The Illinois State Police made a call into the facility to ask for permission for the ministers to go inside. They were denied on the site. So we are trying to give some lenience to the protesters, but that protest, that was peaceful. And even when some of the protesters was yelling out shameful, because during that time, the ICE vehicles was coming in and out the area while the mass was going on. It was 2 buses that I saw come in and out. Trustee Wimper was there with me. 2 buses came, and I thought that was very disrespectful because we're coming with grace. We're coming with peace. We're coming for asking for permission because they said we have to give at least a week's notice and not just show up. We did that. And we wrote a letter, I wrote a letter on behalf of the Coalition Spiritual and Public Leadership to have access to that facility. So those that's here in this room that's coming with their complaints on what we're doing in violation, so they deem it as a violation, they just want what they want. And I'm okay with that because my first responsibility is to this village. And I will always hold up that integrity. I will always hold up our peace. I will always hold up our dignity. And I will always hold up our unity on what we stand for because we are Broadview Strong. Now, I'm pretty sure, you know, some folks call for agitators that live within the village of Broadview to come and make those public statements. But if everybody gonna tell the truth, put your hands on the table because I know what the facts are. Put your hands on the table. If you want to come with me with the business that I have or talk about my daughter who's a teacher, a certified teacher in the state, in another state that come to help these kids. And matter of fact, she did it last year, and they wasn't here last year complaining about it. But they won't talk about their husband that's out there fighting people in the streets. They won't talk about that. So, and then the young lady, I've always showed compassion to that family, to the Smith family. Whatever she asked me, I did for her. But some things are out of my control. So, as it relates to what we're doing in the village of Broadview, I think we're holding strong. We're protecting our peace. We're making sure our police officers are safe. What they won't tell you are the videos. I don't watch so much footage. What they won't tell you is how they get up in their face and cuss them out. They won't tell that side of the story because they want to make it seem like, but if they want to see what peace is, they should look at some of them videos from the coalition who had a peaceful People's Mass on Saturday. It was beautiful, it was amazing, and it was emotional. So at this moment, I will call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Miller, seconded by Trustee Senior. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, we are hereby adjourned at 7:32 p.m. Thank you all for coming. God bless and good night.